Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez, and we are continuing our contributor interviews for Triple U, as I like to call it, Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed. And today I get to talk with Melissa Walker. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing really well, Adriana. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I want to talk about your chapter, but I want to just ask you, when you decided to write your chapter, how did you know what you were to put in this chapter? Because I'm sure there's so many things that you could have focused on. Why did you select this subject?
That's a great question. So I am a doctor of veterinary medicine, and I've had a lifetime of chronic disease, and so that's my specialty is managing that. And I've been on my own personal health journey, and I've realized a lot in the last, I don't know, 20 years or so about health and healing and what works and what doesn't work. And I see so many in the world right now that are needlessly suffering. And I just wanted to be able to offer some information and inspire and encourage people on the path that healing is possible. And yeah, so healing is possible. Basically, I just wanted to let everyone know that, because in some circles it seems like a big challenge, and it can be a big challenge, but it's worth going through it. So yeah.
I love this, and I have to say, I think it's so timely, so timely. So you, as you said, you open your chapter with that you absolutely had basically everything under the sun, right? You've been there, you've done it, you took medication, you saw the doctor, and you hit just absolute bottom. Like, I just cannot do this anymore. And you surrendered at the beach. And you just said, this is it. I just, I can't fight anymore. I can't control it. You let go of trying. And one of the things that I would love to hear is, what do you feel you knew in that moment that maybe you hadn't known before? What became very clear to you?
Ooh, that was a big moment. That was a moment for sure. When I made that surrender, it was just really obvious to me that I wasn't running the show, that there was a higher kind of orchestrator. Some people might call it God, the universe, the divine. And I've always been a person who has tried everything. I was competitive in sports. I really was trying to, take care of my health. I did all the things that the doctors told me to do, and it just wasn't enough. And so I got to the point where I just was like, I really didn't understand, because my heart is so big and I have, a lot of intelligence. And I was like, I'm here on purpose. Like, I felt like I was here on this planet on purpose to really do something. But then I just couldn't. I had nothing left. And so with that said, I connected to a higher being, a higher, you know, energy, and I was like, I'm not in charge here. And I really just surrendered to that, and it was magnificent, because once I did, I got all the help I needed. But I really had to just say, I'm here to serve God, and it doesn't matter if I'm in this particular body or not. And so I had a real clear understanding, in a way that I never had before, that I am more than my body. And yeah, that was really what I think I recognized the most then at that moment.
Now, I want to talk about this transition you made, because I was raised with a mother who basically does the same exact work that you describe in your chapter. So she's a kinesiologist, she's an herbalist, she's a medicine woman, right? And I was raised in this way, so it's the only thing I know. But what I love about your story is that you did the traditional Western medicine path. You took it as far as you could take it. And then you got on the alternative track. What did it take for you to go from all your trust being in the next prescription and doctor's appointment to this doesn't really make any sense, but I'm going to go with it? Because what I find is sometimes it's very difficult to leave one type of medicine and be open to another. What does that transition look like? Because I think that this is a transition that a lot of people are going through right now.
Yeah, for me, it was like a double whammy, because not only was I kind of indoctrinated, in the Western medical system as a patient, but I also went through a traditional medical training. And so going to Cornell University and graduating from that very, excellent vet school, I had been indoctrinated in that way as well. And so it took actually quite a lot for me to make that shift, because I had believed very strongly in Western medicine, and basically it just, for me, I was just evaluating, and it was just like, this isn't working, it's just not working, and it's barely managing my symptoms, and I'm having extra symptoms on top of that, and in my life, just the quality of life that I had wasn't very good. So I was just striving for something better. And then I got to the point where I was literally dying, and I had really no option. I was like, if I don't do something else, then I'm not going to be here. And so it did actually take quite a lot to unravel. And it's been a journey actually in the last 10 years to heal, because I've had to understand and acknowledge some of the things that I was taught weren't necessarily true. And and I'm definitely an integrative doctor. I use what works, but I was taught a lot of things. Oh, you can't fix this, or you can't fix that, or this and that, and that's really not true. It's there are a lot of healing modalities that can heal, and that we're just not taught in Western allopathic medicine.
Well, Melissa, it gives me hope to read your story, to hear your story, to see someone who was trained in this way and open up and go, and you know what? There's a lot of ways we can heal. And it's really about that noticing. This is helping or it's not. What else is available, right? Because nothing is more important than feeling good. And so whatever path leads me there. So it gives me so much hope, because I know it is a lot of years of indoctrination that you have to release.
Absolutely. And I think that comes in the balance of the masculine and the feminine, and we don't feel into our bodies in this society as much as as we should. And it took a lot of listening to my body about what does this feel like? What does this food feel like in my body? What does this environment feel like? What does this relationship feel like? And kind of learning how to listen to my own, intuition and bodily cues as to what is really good for me, because we all have our own inner compass. And sometimes that just goes on, silent, and coming back into our bodies is really important for healing.
So true. I was speaking to someone recently, and they were saying it's so easy to get caught in this, they know better than I do. They've went to school for so many years. They have the letters behind their name. And then she said one day, she had a similar journey to you. And she said, one day I realized that I had lived in this body every single day. So actually, I knew best.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me, what can people do to begin to connect back to their body if they know there's been a pattern of disconnection and giving someone else that power and authority?
Absolutely. What they can do, one thing is to unplug for a period of time, whether it even be hours or days, or give yourself a vacation just away from all of the noise. That was part of my trip on the PCT, was a way of unplugging for me. But unplug a little bit, and then also just mindfulness and awareness, like coming back when you're having a meal to actually taste your food and chew your food and you know smell it and come back into the present moment allows us to come back into the body as well. We're not quite in our heads, we're actually there in the moment. Breath work, yoga, any kind of physical activity, dancing, singing, but yeah, just being back into the body and using it, and the five senses, I think, really helps bring people back in.
So good. Now, as you are, I'm sure you had to go through an evolution in your own business as well. So tell me a little bit about how you view the work that you do and how it's different than when you first started.
Oh wow, it's been a very big transition. So when I was in school, I was very interested in emergency medicine and critical care. And when I graduated, I came to Seattle and I worked in an emergency medicine hospital, a 24-hour clinic, and did lots of surgery and Western treatments. And through this process, I recognized for me personally that that was not the best environment for me to work in. And so now what I do is I do house calls, and I practice acupuncture and herbal medicine and nutritional medicine and ozone and a whole bunch of different modalities, energy work. And what that has allowed for me and for my patients and clients is a deeper connection. They are able to express themselves and really be an active part of that healthcare team, which is highly important. The animals are more relaxed at home, and better treatments there. And so it's just a slowing down, and I find that the results that I get in this sort of practice is just it's just they're better. And I think it's just because of the fact that we're treating holistically the issue, which we don't really have time to do in the clinic.
Mm. Mm. I love hearing this. I have two of the most beautiful German shepherds, and when you were describing that, I was like, oh yes, that's the way I would want. Should they ever need anything, that's what I would want. That's ideal for me. So, Melissa, where can people learn more about you or stay in touch, join your email list?
Yeah, absolutely. I have my practice email, which is, the email is petsthrive@vvcseattle.com. And my website is vvcseattle.com. And I have a little pop up there to let me know what you're interested in. I love, I'm interested in the microbiome, the mind body connection, immunology, anything like that. Let me know at the shout out. But really, what I'm moving into is working with people to help heal their own health issues so that they can be better with their pets. So kind of collaborating in that process. So any ideas on that? If you're sharing symptoms with your pets, I'd love to know about that. I'm really fascinated about that too.
So interesting. Well, Melissa, I thank you for sharing your story in our book. I thank you for the journey that you went on and for the work that you do and the presence that you do it with. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Adriana. I am so grateful for you for having this book collaboration, for all of the women that you've gathered here. There's just a wealth of information in the book. Love sharing my story, and I love to serve. And if there's any way that I can help other people on this journey, I'm happy to do that.
Absolutely. I want to invite everyone to pick up their copy of Uncensored, Untamed, Unleashed. It's available on Amazon. We have the digital copy as well as the paperback. And if you would like to share your story in our next book, I put the link in the video. Until next time, here's to connecting back to our body and actually tasting our lunch. All right, I'll talk to you later.